All right, guys, thank you so much. We're continuing going through my Blu-ray collection. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Last time we finished off on Logan, and so now we're going to finish up the L's and get started on the M. So without further ado, we have Looper. I understand that it didn't quite unpack time travel correctly. I understand that this film made some mistakes in its craftsmanship in terms of its time travel. I don't care. This is art. This is not a math problem. This is not an equation. No, I'm not saying you can't. If you thought that was too much and you thought the time travel was kind of undercut at the beginning and that did bother you enough not to like this, more power to you. Just don't insist to me that I have to feel that way. But this is a fun movie. This is a movie about Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. They play the same person. Bruce Willis is the older version of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I need to rewatch this. I almost don't forget. And they have a looper, so I think he's a hitman. And Bruce Willis kind of comes back in time to kill himself. And it's some pretty interesting ideas. Now, this is written and directed by Rian Johnson. This is easily his best film. I haven't seen Brick. I've heard Brick was pretty good. But we're not going to talk about The Last Jedi. I don't like Rian Johnson anymore because of The Last Jedi. I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan, but this is a cool movie. I wish we could get more movies like this. Fun, creative, interesting, cool cast, mid-budget probably or lower budget. We need more movies like this. We don't get these anymore, unfortunately. Let's see. Next up, Lord of War. This is a fun movie. This is a movie about, what's his name? Yuri Bezmenov or something like that? Yuri something. A Russian arms dealer. So if you're into that kind of stuff. But Nick Cage is good. He's playing it pretty straight here. He's good in this. I liked him a lot. I like this movie. It's not like the best in terms of merit, but it is fun. It is it's well paced. There are a lot of guns, a lot of bombs go off. It's shot well. It's shot on location for the most part. I like that kind of movie. I wish we could get more of those kind of movies, but we don't. And this is good. I remember being really disappointed because he doesn't start off as a arms trader, right? He works his way up, and they did a good job of that. But I was really frustrated that they didn't show him buying his first gun illegally that he would then go on to sell. I thought that would have been very interesting. And for whatever reason, they didn't. They just cut to him in like some Vegas hotel making the sale, and it was like, well, this is like some accountant or whatever. How did he even get that in the first place? Good movie. You should watch it. Lost in Translation. I need to give this a rewatch. But this is a fun movie. I like Bill Murray in this. I'm not quite as high on Bill Murray as some of you guys. I like Bill Murray, but some of you guys need to relax. Scarlett Johansson's really good. This is one of her first roles. She was pretty young in this. It's kind of a romance. I generally don't love these kind of movies, as I mentioned these in this series before, but this is good. I like the dialogue. I like the Japanese setting. I like that they kind of made that work, and it wasn't just set in Japan for just some random reason, just to be quirky, I guess. But they actually worked it in. I love the part where Bill Murray speaks to Scarlett Johansson at the end of the film, but we don't hear what is said. And I thought that was a really beautiful and poignant moment in the film. And I think Sofia Coppola did a good job directing this, a really good job. And this could go for a rewatch. I think we should give this a rewatch. All right, boys. Are you ready for the greatest musical biopic of all time? Now, this is not saying much because musical biography movies, so Walk the Line, Bohemian Rhapsody, Straight Outta Compton, the Elvis movie, are trash. They are terrible. There is absolutely no reason why the Queen film and the NWA film should be the exact same story. It is absurd. They all are the most formulaic and terrible movies out there. I hate them. The Elton John one was terrible too. I hate them. But this is a good one. Love and Mercy. It's about Brian Jones, or not Brian, Brian Wilson, I believe it is, and the Beach Boys. And Brian Wilson had some mental health issues, but he was also a musical genius. Pet Sounds is a good album. So wouldn't it be nice? I love that song. That's such a great song. And then John Cusack plays an older version of him. So we can already see how we're breaking up the mold here. We're not doing the classic been there, done that of Bohemian Rhapsody and NWA Straight Outta Compton. No, you see a young Brian Wilson and you see an old Brian Wilson, and it flips back and forth. So we're already doing something different. The acting in this is great. John Cusack's very good. Paul Giamatti's really good. He's a villain in this, and I think he's better in this than he is Straight Outta Compton. Elizabeth Banks is really good. I had a little crush on her after I saw this. I was like, ooh. And Paul Dano's really good too. He plays he's kind of the main actor, main character, but you need to watch this. This is a good movie. Okay, this is not your formulaic trash that the musical biopics are. I hate those movies with a passion. I cannot wait for them to die, almost as much as comic book movies. Now, you got Mad Max coming up next. Remember what I said? I'm not a completionist. Having said that, I do have another Mad Max film. This is a good movie, fun movie. It's obviously low budget, it's action heavy, and that's kind of all I care about with Mad Max films. Just show me the action. If you can write a good story and kind of, or even just an average story with average characters, that's fine. I don't watch Mad Max to go on some Synecdoche, New York character study or anything like that. I watch Mad Max because it's fun and there's a lot of awesome action in it. And that's what this has. And it's got a ton of charm to it. You can tell George Miller had a real passion and energy and an idea of what he was doing. It's clearly very influential. So much has been aesthetically ripped from the wasteland sort of world. And Mel Gibson's good. I do remember there was one funny thing in this movie. So Max and his family get like attacked, right? And by attacked by these brutal savages who are just there to kill them and eat them. I think they're cannibals. So they get attacked at 4 p.m., let's say, and they barely escape with their lives. They probably got injured too, almost were killed. And then at 4:20 or 4:10, they go up to the closest ice cream shop or whatever, and they just chill and have a nice little meal, as if these guys will not come back. And of course they do, and things go bad. So if that stuff like that will really bother you, then maybe don't watch this. But if you like action, you got to watch Mad Max. Now, next up, one of my most likely top 5, definitely top 10 favorite films of all time. When I watched this movie in theaters, it was like a numinous experience. If you follow my Gebster video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was a numinous experience when I watched this film. I was like, Mad Max Fury Road. This is, in my opinion, this might not mean much because I don't watch a ton of the 80s, 90s action films because I think they're a little corny. The greatest action film of all time. Yes. Oh my God. The end, or I guess the action sequence that ends the first act, not the first action sequence you see, which is awesome, uh, but the one that ends the first act, my jaw was on, just dropped, literally dropped, um, for the entire sequence. Like once they went, I shouldn't say that. Once they went into the sandstorm and the tornado, that's when it dropped. I was like, this movie is incredible. The action scenes in this movie are the best I have ever seen personally. I love everything about this movie. I don't care that the story is simple. I do not care that the story is simple. It is simple. It's like Jack White's music, or the White Stripes early on. Early White Stripes records were simple but effective. That is what this is. I care more about Furiosa than 90% of the characters I see in movies, and she doesn't really say that much. Same thing with Max, even. Max is interesting. It's very obvious that this story is directed to be told visually, and dialogue only really happens to progress the story. We're not, there's some emotional moments at the end, of course, but Max, if you go back and watch all of his dialogue, pretty much all of it is just carrying the story from A to B, informing the reader. It's all pretty much exposition almost. Now, normally that's bad, but because the action is so good and because they talk so less than they would in other movies, this movie is amazing. Please watch this movie. I remember, I remember when I got this. I got in college. I was in my dorm, and my old roommate and I, Jared, shout out to my buddy Jared, I got the Blu-ray of it, and we watched this movie 4 nights in a row. We were just like obsessed with this movie. And I remember once we were watching it, and it was like in the middle of the day. It was like probably 4 or 5 p.m. And we were just watching it, drinking beers, doing what college kids do. And we had like a group of like 4 buddies walk in, and we just kind of looked. And then they walked in. No one said a word for 45 minutes. Everyone was just staring at the TV, and no one said anything for 45 minutes. I think they came over to ask me to go hang out, but I guess the plans were done. And I remember after 45 minutes, my buddy Sean just goes, "I'm sorry, what is this movie?" That's what this movie does to you. I don't want to bog this down. The Magnificent Seven. This was a fun movie. It's good. It's classic. I understand why people would love it at the time if you like grew up on it. It's a little overrated, but it is very good. Steve McQueen was good. I loved Yul Brynner. He was really good. This is that classic. This is just a Western version of the Seven Samurai. So if you like Seven Samurai, you'll probably like this. We'll get to that. But this was a good movie. It's classic Western, classic cowboy. If you're into that kind of stuff, you got to see it. Malcolm X. This is a good movie. We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, led astray, and flat out deceived. Stephen A. Smith did not invent that. That was Denzel in this movie. Um, Denzel's really good at this. Denzel's good in everything, pretty much. Everyone loves Denzel, me included. But this was a good movie. It's I don't love the biopics unless it's kind of done differently, and this one isn't. It's kind of that typical, but for what it is, I think it was executed well. It's long, but I never thought like, okay, I need to turn this off. Denzel, like I said, Denzel was great, and the story's interesting. It's an interesting story, and I think Spike Lee, this is one of his better jobs directing. He can be really bad sometimes. Don't talk to me about his remake of Old Boy. That's disgusting. That was a crime against the platonic ideal of art itself. But this is good. I would recommend it for whatever reason you're kind of on the fence, and it's obviously political, but it's a little more restrained than Spike Lee can be in his later films. His other films are so just trying to like beat you over the head with it. It's like, yeah, we got it. But Do the Right Thing, on the other hand, well, we'll get there. This is a great movie. This is a sad movie, depressing movie, but a great movie nonetheless. Manchester by the Sea. Casey Affleck's very good. This is probably his career best. He won an Oscar for this, and I think rightfully so. I think the scene in the police station is amazing. I like the direction in this; it's beautiful, and also the use of music is very odd. Um, it's interesting. It's very interesting. It just plays when you wouldn't expect it to. And then who's the other guy? Kyle Chandler. He's very good in this. Lucas Hedges is good in this. I don't love him generally, but he was good in this. Um, it's about tragedy and life after tragedy, and how tragedy can completely rip apart everything. And what do we do? At what point do we stop wallowing? But also, at one point, do we never? That wallowing doesn't come from nothing. That there's a reason to wallow, and if you stop wallowing, you can't just go on in life after doing what Casey Affleck's character did in this film. Um, it's a beautiful film. It's very heart wrenching. It's depressing. It's kind of a family film, but I like it. I love everything about it. Casey Affleck's playing. I understand why he won the Oscar because he's kind of just playing himself. I like him in this movie, but I probably wouldn't want to have a beer with him or his character. Michelle Williams is good. She was a little overhyped. She's in it for like 7 minutes. Um, well, maybe a little longer than that, but she is good. But you know, watch this movie. 2016 was a great year for film. Next up, this movie's awesome. Margin Call. This has got a great cast. Listen to this cast: Kevin Spacey, Paul Bettany, Jeremy Irons, Zachary Quinto, that's Spock, Penn Bagley, Simon Baker, Mary McDonnell, Demi Moore, and Stanley Tucci. This is about the 2008 financial crisis. It's kind of based on a true story. The what do you call it? The firm they work for, I guess, is it's not Bear Stearns, but it's Bear Stearns, and it's a cool look into the inside of what that was like. It's a talking movie. There's no guns going off in this. There's none of anything bad, but it's well paced. The characters are interesting. The acting's all great. If you're interested, the clips on YouTube have become very popular. I don't know why, but just go watch some of those clips and then just watch the whole thing. This is a really good movie. Everyone's good in it. It's like I said, it's well paced. The dialogue is really good. Um, the meetings scenes are really good. Jeremy Irons is so good in this, and he's so intimidating in this. And I would just, you can tell when he's talking that he's being very nice to you. He's one of those guys who is very kind to you, and it's kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt. But the second he decides that he's going to turn on you, you do not want to be on the end of that. Next up, I am a doctor, a philosopher, a theoretical scientist, a historian, but most of all, I am a man. I kind of messed that up. The Master. This is awesome. I miss Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh, I miss Philip Seymour Hoffman so much. He's so good in this. This is Joaquin Phoenix's, in my opinion, best role. Don't even talk to me about Joker. Joker is not even a top 3 Joaquin Phoenix performance. We got this, we got Her, and we have Gladiator, and we have others too. Don't talk to me about Joker. This movie is awesome. So this movie, It's not about L. Ron Hubbard, but it's about L. Ron Hubbard, and that's who Philip Seymour Hoffman plays. And then Freddie is this psychologically sort of disturbed or turbulent, just war vet, and he kind of gets dragged into this cult, and we see how he gets sucked in. It's Paul Thomas Anderson. I think it's one of his best. This is a beautiful film, and I mean that in every sense of the word. It is just visually, aesthetically, when you just look at it, you're like, oh my god, like the scene of Joaquin hanging over on the boat, and it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Go on IMDb and look up some of the images from this film and see if that doesn't inspire you to watch it. All the acting in this is just top notch. We're talking, if Philip Seymour Hoffman wasn't so amazing in everything else, this would be his career best. He is so good in this movie, and so is Joaquin. Joaquin is so good, and there's so many. I think PTA is in his wheelhouse here. I think he's not going too much. He's not necessarily trying to make some pretentious, all-encompassing statement like he did with Magnolia. Don't talk to me about Magnolia. But this movie is awesome. You got to watch this movie. The one thing that's the problem with this movie is the same problem with all PTA movies, except for maybe Punch Drunk Love, is that there's always a 10-minute. It's always too long by like 10 minutes, and you can usually go back and kind of pick like, okay, like There Will Be Blood. Did we really need the brother at the end of the film? I don't think so. Did we really need, as well made as that montage was? Did we need that montage of Freddie kind of doing the workouts and the routines? I don't know if we did. But besides that, this is a beautiful movie. Also, the master, Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, has kind of become like an inside joke between me and my girlfriend. So I have above my door to enter my home here. It's just a picture of Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. Just so we have the master. We pray to the master because he is the leader. He is the ultimate leader, of course. He is the man of ultimate wisdom. What's up next? You know what's coming next, boys. You thought this came earlier. You said, when I said the master, you thought I was talking about something else. But you know, boys, we're back in town. Master and Commander. Yes. I actually put off watching this, but not because I thought it was going to be bad. I knew I was going to like it, and I think that's why I put it off. I don't know why, but I was like, there's just other stuff I wanted to watch. But once I did, I was like, yeah, this movie's awesome. Russell Crowe's really good in it. Who's the other guy in it? What's his name? Is it? It's not Guy Pearce, is it? I can't remember. But this movie is about the British, I guess, colonial era, and what's the intro where it says Napoleon has dominated? It's just an awesome movie about going out to sea and doing crazy stuff and exploring and fighting people, and it's just expertly directed. It must have been a nightmare making this because I can imagine the action scenes were probably just difficult to actually pull off, and of course all these shots on water would probably be difficult as well. But this movie's just awesome. What can I say about Master and Commander? That it's perfectly paced. It's got character. It's got everything you want. Everything you want. It's beautiful shots, cool characters that have arcs. It's got action. It's well paced. It's exciting. It's adventurous. It's everything you want. You got to watch Master and Commander. What's next? Matchstick Man. This is a good one. Sometimes I wonder if Nicolas Cage has like he threatens not to show up on set if he doesn't have one scene where he just freaks the hell out. And that's in this. But this is a good movie. The reason I'm biased towards this movie is one, I think it's good. Two, I am biased towards movies about con men. Now usually it's about cards and gambling and that kind of stuff, but not always. It can be this stuff too, and that's what this is about. The lives of two con men, played by Nicolas Cage and Sam Rockwell. This is an early Sam Rockwell before he sort of broke big with, what was it, Three Billboards, I think was his. I mean, obviously he was in stuff. Maybe Moon. Moon was kind of a big thing for him, but obviously he was in stuff. But in terms of him kind of being elevated to that B or A list, this is before that, and he's really good. And then who's the girl in this? She was good too, and I think if I can remember, I think it's his daughter. He's kind of estranged from his daughter, or he didn't know he had a daughter. Um, and he wants to be a good dad, and then she tries to convince him not to con, and that's kind of what it is. But it's better than that. It's not corny like the way I described it. This is a good movie. You should watch it, especially if you're into cool con men movies. Oh, and the scene where Nicolas Cage goes to pick up his prescription. If you don't want to watch this, at least toss that on YouTube. You'll find it. The Matrix. I'm a little embarrassed to say I waited like 25 years to watch this. I don't know why. I'm not super into that sci-fi stuff, so I just thought, and the way people talked about it, they kind of, I don't like when people overpraise things. I really don't like when people do that because it makes me sound like a hater because I'm just trying to call it as I see it, and I'm just kind of bring you down to a reasonable valuation here. And you go, well, you just hate everything. No, you just overly love everything, and then you just delude yourself. But this is a good movie. I have not seen any of the sequels except for parts of Matrix 4, and the only reason I watched that because I wanted a good laugh, and I got a good laugh. What's there to say about The Matrix, hasn't been said? Super awesome action, super iconic action. Good acting for the most part, except for Keanu Reeves. Lawrence Fishburne is amazing. Um, cool philosophical discussions, super cool world, super cool movie. Memento, Sammy Jenkins. Anytime when I used to play poker with my buddies, we used to play on a weekly basis. Now the 7-2 offsuit, so if you have like a 7 of clubs and a 2 of spades, we'll say, or a 2 of diamonds, that's statistically or mathematically the worst hand in poker. And for whatever reason, we called it the Sammy Jenkins. I think it's because we watched this movie right before we decided to play. And this is a good movie. This movie's awesome. I mean, I love Memento. Some people, again, overhype it a little bit, kind of the college film student. It is a good movie. It's not the best movie ever, but it is a good movie. Guy Pearce is great. Guy Pearce has the sharpest jawline I've ever seen. Just, I'm very jealous. Look at this. Ugh. It's amazing how I even got a girlfriend. It's amazing I even kissed a woman before. Um, but yeah, this movie's awesome. This is about a guy with just I don't know. There's a technical term for it. I don't know what you want to call it, but extreme memory loss, and he's kind of being played with, and he has to write things down and tattoo things on himself, and he has to work backwards and figure it out. It's beautiful. Christopher Nolan, he's awesome as directing this. It's one of his better movies. The Menu. This was a fun movie. Um, this was a good movie. It's a little silly, right? It's obviously not super realistic, but who cares? Anya Taylor Joy was good. I like Nicholas Hoult. It's not like amazing. It's about these people who love food and love fine dining, and they go to the top restaurant in the world, and it's this island that you have to travel to by either helicopter or boat or whatever, and it's a big deal. And they do like a 7-8 course meal, but Ray Fiennes is the chef, and let's just say he's gone through some psychological disturbances recently, and he's decided to change things up. So he doesn't like his customers anymore. He resents them. So it kind of turns into a little horror film there. Good movie. It's fun. I like the way it sort of builds tension. Some of the characters are okay. It's not that serious, but I take it back. I did not like in that movie where they almost made it. There was when they first got there, there was like, I think it was an Asian woman. She was like showing them the steaks that they would prepare for them and giving them this tour. And I think they made it a little too obvious that something was off at that point. I think you could have been a little more subtle there and built that tension more organically. But I remember watching that scene and be like, okay, well, obviously something is off. Like, obviously someone's going to get murdered. All right, what's next? Midnight in Paris. This is good. It's definitely for the highbrow. It's for the pretentious elite. That is what this is for. This, I will say, this movie lives or dies based on your appreciation of the intellectual highbrow references. When it references Hemingway or Picasso or Gertrude Stein or any of this, I was almost expecting a Jean Gebser appearance, but Woody Allen's not that good. He's not that based. But this is good. This is a story about a struggling novelist who is a romantic at heart, and he's just kind of struggling. His novel sucks. His wife doesn't really like him, and then he kind of transports into Paris in the 1920s, this sort of romanticized era that he wishes he was born in. And it's about that, and he gets to meet all his favorite authors, so uh, like I said, Gertrude Stein and F. Scott Fitzgerald and all these, and he sort of has an arc. Like, okay, well, is this actually what I want? Absolutely love Rachel McAdams. I think Rachel McAdams is amazing. I just love her, and her character's kind of a like bad person in this. And like I said, this really lives or dies based on your appreciation of the references. I don't like Woody Allen as a person. I think he's disgusting as a person, and I think his views on the world are just a joke, and they only seem impressive to people who their idea of like an intellectual is, I don't know, like I'm not trying to be mean, but like Jordan Peterson type or someone like that, where it's they don't know Gebser. Let's put it that way. No, this was a fun movie. I haven't watched in a while, so I don't have too much to say about it. But I remember liking it when I watched it. And Sean Penn was good, and the acting was good, and the '70s costume and all that stuff was good, and yeah, it was interesting. But I don't have too much to say because I haven't watched it in a while. Minority Report. This was a good movie. I was a little dreading this a little bit going in. I don't know why. I didn't realize it was based on a novel. And usually when books are based on a novel, if done well, if adapted well, they're good because you kind of have that seal of approval. It's kind of went through a filtering system where it's like, yeah, this is good. But this is a cool movie. A lot of cool philosophical ideas for the most part. I wish they would explore them a little bit, but that's kind of my personal bias. I like when films get philosophical and have these arguments. I think it's interesting. Um, yeah, good movie. There's a technical term for this. I don't know what it is, but the whites in this movie are so bleached, and you're like, whoa! It's almost like my lamp here. It's just, God, can we turn it down a little bit? Like, um, yeah, Minority Report. Let's see, Misery. This is a good movie. I have never read a Stephen King novel. Probably never will. Kathy Bates is really great in this. James Caan is this. Everyone knows kind of the story. Just a novelist gets broken down on the road, and unfortunately, he chose the wrong house to enter because this is a delusional and obsessed fan who really takes that obsessed fan to the next level. And Kathy Bates is dynamite in this, and I think this was her big breakout. I'm sure she may have acted before, but no one really knew who Kathy Bates was. And James Caan, I think, had to fight for her. They're like, look, I'm sorry, but she's the best at it. I don't know what to tell you. And she is. She was great. I love Kathy Bates. Good movie, tense movie, fun movie, and directed by Rob Reiner. I mean, Rob Reiner really had like a five. Like Rob Reiner had a real streak in the '90s. He had like 5 or 6 movies that were just banger after banger, and this is one of them. So yeah, check this out. This is definitely worth watching. I don't like Ryan Reynolds. Don't like Ryan Reynolds. I'm tired of the meta, winking at the camera, breaking the fourth wall, postmodern, ironic, cynical sarcasm. I think it is a cope for a lack of talent and a lack of ability to produce genuine creative feats or masterpieces or something that is original, that is good. You have to deconstruct what others have done to stand on their shoulders and make yourself feel good. I am tired of your stupid postmodern meta crap that is in everything, including Mint Mobile commercials. I mean, it's a parody. You can predict what he's going to say 30 minutes ahead or like a minute ahead of what he's going to say. Having said all that, Mississippi Grind is a banger, and he's good in this. Now, admittedly, he is kind of playing himself, which is what he does and everything else. But it works with the character, and there are subtle nuances and differences where you're like, okay, well, you are acting still. This is about just gambling and kind of on the road gambling between at least one addict and who's kind of in debt and he has no purpose and all this stuff. That's Ben Mendelsohn. He's great in this too. And then we have Ryan Reynolds' character. He's the cool, sexy, young hotshot. It's kind of this fantasy, and that's kind of the interplay or the dynamic between the characters. And I love this movie. This again, I have a bias for like gambling and cons and casinos. What was her? What was that one girl's name? Sienna Miller. She was in this too. She was good. It's not like amazing. It's not like incredible, but overall, I think it's pretty great. I would recommend this easily, in my opinion. Ryan Reynolds' best performance. Molly's Game. This movie has problems. This movie is far from perfect. There's scenes where what's his name Sorkin goes way overboard. Like at the end where they're arguing about what's happened in the film, and then she like quotes the Crucible, which I guess was set up earlier in the film, but it just and then Idris Elba's like, now you quote the Crucible. It's like, okay, come on, like what are we doing? We get it. You're a writer, Aaron. We got it. But this is a movie about I think her name, yeah, based on the book by Molly Bloom. Now I've never read this novel, but I'm pretty sure that that's the name of the chick from Ulysses, is it not? I was very confused by that. And she runs underground poker, high stakes poker between celebrities and important people, and not just me and my idiot friends drinking beers and doing whatever on Tuesday nights, locally. There are celebrities here, and there's player X, which is the celebrity that they kind of shroud of mystery. It's really just Tobey Maguire. And unfortunately, she gets in a little too deep and she starts doing illegal things, and then tension builds. But Idris Elba's really great in this. He plays a lawyer. Jessica Chastain's really good in this, and it's a fun movie. I am biased towards it because of the poker aspect, but solid movie. Moneyball, maybe the best sports movie of all time. I know that sounds like a strong statement, but this movie's awesome. This movie's so good. I love this movie's so good. It makes me wonder what Bennett Miller has been doing for the past, like ever since Foxcatcher. What has he done? Nothing. I mean, he's done this, Capote, and Foxcatcher. I mean, that is clearly a talented guy here. Make more stuff. Give him money, please. This is about the Oakland A's and how they were just bottom of the league and terrible. And then some guy came in, some maverick with a young count, I think, as what they call him, Quant. Is that what they called him in The Big Short? Your math guy. And he's got a new statistical way of beating the game, and then they do it, and it's just. I mean, in many ways, it's that classic sports narrative and story, but it's just so good. Good character study. I love. There's a line in this movie that kind of like changed my life, at least at the time when I heard it. It's when Brad Pitt and another guy who worked for the Athletics are going to actually Chris Pratt. He was in this before he kind of got big, and he's on the outskirts of the league. He's really not that good, and he's not even signed to a team, but they want him to play first base because stats say so. And they go up to him, they're trying to convince him, and the guy's like, "Well, I was third base. I don't know how to play first base." And Brad Pitt just immediately goes, "Oh, come on, Don, tell him first base isn't that hard." And Don just goes, "It's incredibly hard." And Brad Pitt immediately, without missing a beat, just goes, anything worth doing is. And I was just like, that is kind of true. This is a great movie. It's not just great because it's a great sports movie. There's also a character arc and all that stuff. Beautiful film. Love Money. Moon. This is what kind of referenced this earlier. This sounds this goes out. Moon is a good movie. It's super low budget. So if the bad effects bother you, don't watch this. But what's the robot's name? Gurney? Is that what it is? Or Jerry or something? This is just a guy who's I can't remember. That's what it is. Sam Bell is nearing the completion of his 3-year contract with Lunar Industries, mining Earth's primary source of energy on the dark side of the moon. So yeah, he's isolated, he's paranoid, then he makes a disturbing discovery in the form of another person, and that kind of throws everything for a loop. It's kind of like Mickey 17, but better. Definitely watch this. Sam Rockwell's really great in this. Who directed this? Duncan Jones. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's David Bowie's son. So that's interesting. This is a good movie. You should watch this, especially if you're like a movie guy. It's kind of like a cool, like low budget. In the moonlight, the black boy looked blue. Yes, 2016 was amazing. That everyone knows what happened with the Oscars, right? The fact this one, I wasn't even pissed because I love La La Land so much, but Moonlight is so good. I remember being so in love with La La Land when I first watched it. But I still wanted to see all these good movies. So my mom and I, in 2016, we saw it. We saw this in theater, and I remember explicitly with the conscious thought in my head going, I don't care how good this movie is. It's not going to beat La La Land for my number one of the year. Now it technically didn't, but it was like if La La Land was like a 10, this was like a 9.9. This was so good. It's kind of become cool to hate on this movie. When they do like their Oscar retrospect, like, it's not that good. It didn't make that much of an impact. Yeah, speak for yourself, my friend. This movie is awesome. I'll remember this movie for way longer and at a way deeper level in the journey of Chiron than any of the crap you like, any of the crap that we get in the summer. But it's the story of the life of Chiron, who is a young, do I want to reveal this? A young man who's different, and he lives in really bad circumstances. Like the hood, got a crack addicted mother, father's gone AWOL. He has a father figure, he goes AWOL. He's surrounded by kind of gangsters and violent people, and you see him when he's like 8, and then we see him when he's like 16, and then like 28 or 26. So it's the 3x structure is very clear. It's just young, adolescent, old. And it's such a beautiful film. It is so beautiful, both in terms of its poignancy and in terms of what it's trying to say, and also in terms of how it looks. It's aesthetic. Naomi Harris in this movie is so good in this movie. Oh my God. I didn't even. I almost didn't even know who she was. One of my favorite performances ever in this movie. She is so good in this movie. And so is everyone. All the actors who play Chiron are really great. It's a beautiful story. Everything about this movie is just beautiful. It's perfect. It really is kind of a perfect film. It's just beautiful. This goes for a rewatch. Mud. I remember liking this a lot when I watched it. I remember it's kind of like this eccentric guy who's out on an island or something, and he meets like two teenage boys, and they get intrigued, but he's got a weird past, and it's cool. It's a fun movie. I remember this was kind of the beginning of the reconnaissance, where he started taking acting seriously and stopped being in crap. So that was good. But Ty Sheridan, what happened to him? I miss him. This next one, I was raised on, and I'm glad I was, because if I wasn't, I worry that now I'd be too snobbish and pretentious to even give this a chance. My Cousin Vinny. This movie is amazing. It started my huge crush on Marissa Tomei, which I still have today. Joe Pesci is hilarious. There are so many amazing jokes and quotes in this movie. This movie is iconic. You have to watch this. If you're worried, like it looks kind of stupid and it doesn't seem all, it doesn't seem that serious. Okay, it's great. It's funny. Please watch this movie. There's so much good stuff in this movie. Mystic River. This is a solid movie. I might get rid of it one day when the shelf space starts to shorten up, but it's good. It's very tragic, and I would never wish what happens to Sean Penn's character on anyone. And it's very heart wrenching in that sense. And it's good. It's kind of like a murder mystery kind of thing, and kind of vigilante justice in a way. The only There's a big problem with this movie, and the big problem with this movie, there is a huge plot point that just simply shouldn't exist. Um, it's one of those times where filmmakers, how do I want to say this? They don't give you crucial pieces of information that they would normally give you otherwise, and the only reason they do it is because they want to build dramatic effect. But once you get that information, you realize, like, why wasn't this settled 10 seconds after coming to this realization? Oh, because we wanted the drama farm. Good movie. Sean Penn's really great in this, especially that one scene. I think you know what I'm talking about. Classic Napoleon Dynamite. You got to have Napoleon Dynamite. Tina Lard or whatever, the tater tots, the butterfly. I remember watching this when I was young, and I love this as much as the next guy. What's there to say about Napoleon Dynamite? He was also funny in the movie Benchwarmers. That movie is not particularly great, but I watched that movie growing up, and I thought that movie was funny. It's not terrible. He was good in it. Benchwarmers is kind of underrated. Nebraska. This is a good movie. Black and white. It's about old people. It's about Saul Goodman's in this. What's his name? Jimmy McGill. That's right. And Bruce Dern is so good at this movie, and so is June Squibb. June Squibb is great, but this is kind of like a family, I don't say coming of age, but like a human emotional kind of film, like a connection between father son and all that stuff, and ruminations on death and life, that kind of thing. And it's a road trip movie as well, and it's it's good. I love this movie. All the acting is great. The dialogue is great. It's very funny. It's very beautifully shot. The family dynamics are interesting. June Squibb is legitimately hilarious. Like, I burst out laughing. She just says like crazy things. I think it's one of Alexander Payne's best, and that's saying something because Alexander Payne is a really great director. Yeah, this could actually go for a rewatch. It's a little slow. It's a little slow. I'll give you that, but it's beautiful. I love it. I just Will Forte or Fort. He's really good in this. I haven't really seen him in that much. Um, yeah, please watch this. Give this a shot, especially if you've seen his other films. This movie might be in my top 20. Also, Network. We'll start there. Network is amazing. Sidney Lumet, one of the best directors of all time. This is another guy who is like top. I have no idea why he doesn't get talked about more. It just kind of blows my mind. This movie's amazing. This movie's about the ongoings of a cable network. What this movie's really about is about media. Uh, I refuse to believe that Sidney Lumet or whoever wrote this, did he write this? Did not get into some Marshall McLuhan before he wrote this film, because it is painfully obvious to anyone who has even a slight understanding of what Marshall McLuhan's work is that Sidney Lumet read this before he wrote this script, because um, that's what this movie is really about. It's about the medium is the message and how that affects society. It's a beautiful movie, but it's also really funny, and it's a great satire. And there's so many iconic scenes, and there's so many great actors and great lines and great everything. It's beautiful. It's a great satire. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. And then the world, or that one that what was that guy, one guy's name, Beatty or whatever, when he talks he talks about like the global economy and the world and money and all that stuff. There's just so many great stuff. And then it's just legitimately a great film. Like the arcs are great, the character development is great, the writing is amazing, the dialogue is even better, and the acting is just kind of the cherry on top. It's awesome. I love this movie. This movie is incredible. You have to watch Network. Network is just so good. It is so good. It is so iconic, and it's thought provoking as well. And Faye Dunaway is really good in this. I know she's not great in everything, but she's really good in this. I love what they do with her character. By the way, my theory is that she is television. She is the personification of television. And when she talks about how when she's having sex, she has sex like a man because she gets you really excited, and then climaxes within like 10 seconds, and then leaves you with this sort of rotting, sad, depressed feeling afterwards. That's television, my friend. The Nice Guys. This is a good movie. This is Shane Black. Like, I'm not gonna say too much about this because I kind of already talked about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but this is a good one. Two private investigators, and it's just a comedy, buddy cop, but not reinventing the wheel, but executing it super well. And Ryan Gosling shows off his comedic chops. Russell Crowe shows off his comedic chops, and both of them are really funny. There's a ton of great jokes and gags and scenes, and it's written and directed well. It's not like this just kind of free for all. There is a script. It's almost a little too complex sometimes, to the point where I just didn't really care much. But there is a mystery, and it's well thought out. Matt Smith, is that his name? He's really good in this. Margaret Qualley, it hit me like a few months ago, like, oh yeah, that is where I saw her for. This is like kind of her breakout. Um, you got to watch this. This is a really funny movie. It's well paced. It's exciting. It's well shot. You gotta have the Nice Guys. I watched this movie probably like 30 times because one, I saw I saw it in theaters, and I bought the Blu-ray and I rewatched it a bunch because I love the movie. But I would also go to my old friend Josh's house, and his dad had like the movie channel package, and that was always playing. So he liked that movie too. So we always just had it on in the background. Nightcrawler, yes, 2014 was so good. Jake Gyllenhaal, this is probably my favorite performance of his. I think it's his best, but he's so good in so many other roles, like Prisoners. He's really great in that too. Um, but this is about like a nightly news cameraman, or I should say a sociopath who pretends he's a nightly news cameraman. And he documents crimes and events, but because he's crazy and off and weird, there's a very thin line between him documenting them and him creating them. And I think obviously there's a sort of meta message about media, kind of like with Network. But this is just a super fun movie. Borderline perfect. Beautiful to look at, well shot, tense, well acted. It's good to her again. Good to see Rene Russo in something good besides In the Line of Fire. And this, it's just Riz Ahmed. He kind of became a thing. That's his breakout role. This movie's amazing. I love everything about it. I love the pacing. I love the music. I love the shots. I love the colors. I love the writing. I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this. I love it's video production news, a professional news gathering service. That's how it should be read. And that is how it should be said. Excuse me. So many great quotes. A friend is a gift you give yourself. We are at the critical moment. Nightmare Alley. I was kind of. I'm not. I don't know why. I was kind of dreading going into this. I don't know why. It just seemed like I wouldn't like it, but I was really impressed by how much I enjoyed this. And I like Guillermo del Toro. That's not the problem, but I just don't know why. But this is a really cool, fun, weird story. It's about carnies and the carnival, and it gets into like tarot cards and kind of that weird black magic stuff. And it's kind of the rise and fall of Bradley Cooper's character and his arrogance and his ego, but it's done in a weird carnival setting. And it's dirty when it needs to be, it's disturbing when it needs to be, it's funny when it needs to be. It's a little long, but I was never bored. I was never bored. If you're on the fence on this, I would give this a recommendation. This was actually pretty good. I was very surprised. It gets a little lost at the end, but it's good. I was impressed. Nocturnal Animals. This could go for a rewatch. I remember enjoying this the first time I watched it. I didn't think it was perfect, but this was actually written and directed by Tom Ford. Yes, that Tom Ford. Jake Gyllenhaal, Amy Adams. And what is the plot of this movie? I can't even. It's a romantic thriller. That's what it is. Um, yeah, I hate to say I don't have too much to say about this because I haven't watched it in so long. but I remember liking Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie. And Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams were good, but Aaron Taylor Johnson was really good in this movie because he's kind of a bad actor and he was doing something just so weird and different, and it worked. But yeah, it was a beautiful shot, and of course the fashion in it's always gonna be good. The Northman, definitely not Robert Eggers' best, but it's not a bad movie either. That's not saying that's not that bad. Um, this is a good movie. I hate to say I was a little disappointed because you have to understand The Lighthouse is like a top 20, maybe top 10 film for me of all time. And when I saw that, I was like, whatever this guy does next, I will be there. Because unfortunately, I missed The Witch in theaters. That's when I was in my horror phobia. Well, that's when I had my horror film, so I just didn't watch it at all. And then I watched it eventually. This is a good movie. This is like a very mythical film and very mythical narrative and story. It's a lot of symbolism, a lot of that classic mythical tropes or whatever symbolism, the gods and all that great stuff. And it's good. It's unfortunately the problem with this movie is it's almost so simple to the point where I was kind of shocked. I was expecting like a whole world, and I was expecting this vast, expansive world. And you do get that to an extent, but Robert Eggers is so detailed in his art direction and all that stuff. I was expecting more, but he went away from that and brought it to this really personal story, which isn't bad. It was just why even have such a big budget if you're going to do that in the first place? But it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautifully shot. I like the acting. Anya Taylor-Joy is really good. Ethan Hawke is really good. Alexander Skarsgård is really good. He's jacked in this. He's like an animal. He's like a primate. And so is the villain too. The villain was really good. And Willem Dafoe is good. He just wanted that much. This is a good movie. As far as blockbusters go, I think this is one of the better ones to come out. But it's not flawless by any means. Oh brother, where art thou? I'm a Dapper Dan man. I need to rewatch this. I haven't watched this in a while. But what is this? Just the Iliad or whatever? This is a good movie. I really like George Clooney in this movie. It's one of my favorite George Clooney performances. And what's his name? Tim Blake Nelson is good too. Yeah, kind of classic Coen brothers, zany, silly. I remember the clan thing was funny too. Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. The only reason I own Ocean's 12 is, well, for whatever reason they won't let you buy Ocean's 11 just on its own. I haven't seen Ocean's 13, so I don't know. So I have Ocean's 11 and 12, or really just 11. Ocean's 11 is a great movie. It's fun. It's not super, intellectual or anything like that. It's not trying to be like that. But it's just fun. Like it's just a fun movie. It's well directed. It is well directed. It's not a bad movie that is fun. It's a good movie that is fun. It's a little kind of playing into those fantasies where, of course, George Clooney and Brad Pitt, they always are one step ahead, and they're super good looking, and they got all the hot girls. It's kind of like that, but it is good. Don Cheadle's performance in this is terrible. Bernie Mac was really good in this too, but this is just a casino heist film, and it's done really well. It's by a director. I actually just watched Logan Lucky 2 nights ago, just kind of coincidentally, and they called that Ocean 7-Eleven, so that was kind of funny. But this is good. It's got a great cast: Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Andy. Yeah, someone let me know. Andy Garcia. That's what it is. Thank you. I'm glad I remember that. You gotta watch Ocean's 11. Ocean's 11 is great. Office Space, classic, classic, classic. I don't talk about truly. I don't want to make this kind of a Gebser thing, but talk about the rationalist living in this world where you have no real meaning or purpose or value. All you are, you've been reduced down to an economic unit, and there's this sort of this monotonous dying or living just to die, living just to produce, and it's just terrible. That's what the office shops can be soul destroying, and that's what this is. And it just beautifully captures it. One of my favorite Jennifer Aniston performances. She's great in this. She's very good. I like the main guy. This is a great movie. There's so many great quotes with the stapler and Milton and all that stuff. I mean, you got to watch this movie. This is it's better than just a low budget funny movie. It really is kind of like a time capsule of. There's a reason this low budget movie is so iconic because it resonated with so many people because they can relate to this sort of rational destruction of meaning and value and beauty and all this stuff because all that you can only attain that through irrational means. So no, we can't have that. You have to be an economic unit. Great movie. This movie. When I first watched this movie, I got my hands. Actually, no, I take it back. I watched it, and then I couldn't watch it again because it was taken out of rent for whatever reason. So I watched it on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday they took it. They removed the ability to rent it. So I got it for Christmas. That was on my list, and I watched it on Christmas that day because I was so excited. But then I wanted to show all my friends about this movie. So but I couldn't get them all together in one thing. So I ended up watching this movie like 6 times in 2 weeks. Now, because this movie's so awesome, I didn't mind it, but I haven't watched it since just because I watch it so much. Old Boy. Yes. Yes. I don't like anime. More power to you if you do. I think it's cringe. I understand if you disagree. More power to you. It did give us this, because that's what this is based off, an anime. This movie is incredible. Some people like to dismiss this and they go, oh, it's a cool action movie. No, no. This is an incredible story with weird characters and cool characters and great writing and great directing and great tension and conflict. That also happens to have incredible action scenes as well. That's like the sprinkle on top. This movie is incredible. This movie is about a sort of drunk alcoholic father who's a bit of a doofus, gets kidnapped and thrown into a private prison for like 20 years or whatever, and then is just released. And no, he has no idea why he was thrown in prison. He has no idea why anything happened, and he becomes obviously a changed person. And then they give him hints, and he has to sort of figure out the mystery as to why the person that imprisoned him actually did so. And it's such a beautiful film. The mystery is great. It's disturbing. The twists, one of the best twists in the movie in film ever. I mean, there's like two twists in this film. Both of them are two of the best film twists ever. If you want to watch a foreign movie, or particularly a Korean movie, start with this. This movie is incredible. Please, and look, arrives with the Quentin Tarantino seal of approval. This movie's amazing. It's iconic. It's foreign, and who cares? You got to get over the subtitle thing. Subtitles, like I said in another video, are a blessing in disguise. They force you to pay attention, and that means the film will resonate to a greater extent. Beautiful. Please watch Homeboy. Please. Even my friends who had never seen a foreign movie and were kind of dreading going into it after the film, they were like, "Yeah, that was pretty good, actually." Yeah. Even they were like, they have terrible taste. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is a good movie. 2019 was I think the last truly great year for film. We had Parasite, Lighthouse, this, and there was a couple of, I think 1917 was good. It's not that good, but it is good, and that came out. But everyone loves Once. I mean, the first two acts, I don't want to say are perfect, but I really loved. And I love the change of tone that Tarantino takes on this. He's not necessarily doing this Kill Bill or Django Unchained, almost cartoonish, um, very pulpy tone. He's doing it's almost a little more serious, but also being funny. And I really love that. The only problem with this movie is it betrays its tone in the third act. Now, it is a crowd pleaser and it is fun to watch, but it does betray the tone, and that's frustrating. But besides that, this movie's awesome. I mean, Leo's great, Brad Pitt's great. I love the dynamic. I love that they're friends. Sometimes I like in movies when friends just stay friends and they don't really have any conflict. The conflict that they face is external. It's not between them. And I miss when people would do that. You can still have conflict, but there's something to be said about friends just kind of sticking with each other. And that's what they do in this movie, and I love it. This is a great movie. I mean, I want to say Tarantino at its best, but I think it's like my number 4 or 5 on his list. It's like, um, what's my favorite of his? I actually think Reservoir Dogs might be my favorite of his. So it's like Reservoir Dogs, Django, and Glorious Bastards maybe, and then like this, and then maybe Pulp Fiction, and then you can go on from there. But this movie's great. Margot Qualley's great in this. It's beautifully shot. There's a ton of the Manson girls at the weird house. All those girls would go on to become stars for the most part, which is very, very interesting. Sydney Sweeney was in that. And I heard they're making a sequel to this. Ridiculous. You should not do that. Now, it's going to be directed by David Fincher, apparently, which does fill me with hope, but why were we doing this? This is dumb. A fun movie, great soundtrack. I got, what was the song I got from this video? It was by Cream. Hush, I think it was, by Cream. Hush, hush. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Took me a while to finally get around to this, but when I did, I enjoyed it. It's a good movie. I think Nurse Ratched is a little overrated as a villain. Because I went in thinking like, all right, like this is gonna be some good villain, and she is a bitch, but she's not like. I was a little disappointed in that regard. But Jack Nicholson is great. This almost strikes me as like someone who read Foucault made this movie. They were like, nah, this is all just discipline and punish and control. That's not what this is. It's a great movie about just the weird and the messed up and the mentally ill and life and meaning and the life they live and how they're supposed to fit in society and all these rules and all this stuff. And it's pretty touching. And Jack Nicholson is is amazing as he always is. I mean, Nicholson in the '70s was pretty much gold. Um, so yeah, definitely a solid movie. Oh, except for the one sequence where let's say they go out onto the boat. I understand why it was there. I understand why it was there. It was a little jump in the shark there. I was like, okay, well, if that really happened, you would not just come back in and everything would be fine. Oppenheimer. I love this movie. I think this movie's borderline flawless. I understand it's 3 hours long. I get that. Some people like to say, "Oh, well, you already covered this in the first act." Now, I will admit, sometimes I do um, validate that criticism. Sometimes it can be frustrating, but sometimes there's something to be said about just kind of treading in the waters and deepening and entrenching the relationship between the characters. So sometimes if you touch on something in the first act, you can retouch on it again because you're trying to entrench that. They're in love, they hate each other, whatever it may be. This movie's amazing. This it might be my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. The Dark Knight is up there too, and we'll get to that. But Cillian Murphy's so good. I like the editing. And the editing is weird. It's almost like it just keeps you hooked. It's almost like I think YMS, who I don't like, called it a trailer editing, and I kind of liked it. I dug it. The music was great. It's just classic filmmaking done amazingly, and it's just everything about it. The effects are awesome. The character arcs are great. The acting is good. Like I said, the pacing is really good for a 3 hour film. It's gripping and exciting. It changes the way I thought about Oppenheimer, which all good biopics of these kinds should do. They should change things. Same thing with I, Tonya. Um, I love this movie. I thought this was easily, what was it, 2023? This was easily my favorite movie of that year. Not even close. I did not see Barbie. No, I will not watch that trash just because everyone else is going to. No. Well, God damn it. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. The entire freaking world is at war, and you got me sitting on the bench. When he said that in this movie, my girlfriend and I just burst out laughing. Like, imagine saying that. The opportunity of a lifetime. The entire freaking world is at war. I love the way George C. Scott delivers that line. The entire freaking world is at war. Oh, this movie's amazing. I love this movie. This is it's exactly about that Patton. Of course, the famous general in World War II. He was a bit of an eccentric, to say the least. And it's about his life. It's about his character, his personality. George C. Scott is absolutely incredible in this. It's a bit long, but I was kind of dreading going into this. I thought it was going to be boring and snuffy, but it's not. It's really fun. It's really exciting. George C. Scott is dynamite, and there's so many great quotes. He almost sounds like, if you've read Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, he almost sounds like Judge Holden. Like, he'll pull up to a battlefield and he'll like touch the grass and he'll be like, and he'll talk about some ancient battle. Let's say the Romans and the Carthaginians, just for example. He was like, I fought here. I fought here. I was a Roman soldier. And he just goes on. And the guy's just like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, I am the spirit of war. It's like Judge Holden. Like, I genuinely wonder if Cormac McCarthy watched this and was like, that's actually pretty good. Please watch this. This is great. This movie's awesome. Please watch it. This movie's awesome. Phantom Thread. This is a good movie. Paul Thomas Anderson, not his best. I prefer The Master and There Will Be Blood. But this is definitely one of his best. I think it's better than Magnolia. And my girlfriend just watched Licorice Pizza. She said that was terrible. So this is good. It's a bit slow. It's a love story. I don't love them, but there are always exceptions made. It's beautifully filmed, and the costumes. I'm a straight dude. I couldn't care less about these costumes, and even I am like, wow, that's beautiful. I think the guy's name is that's what it is. Daniel Day Lewis plays a guy named Reynolds Woodcock, stealing my high school nickname there. And he plays like the top fashion designer, the top women's fashion designer in the entire world. But he's also a little psychologically out there. He's a lot psychologically where he's got some mother issues, and he develops a romance with, what is her name? Leslie Manville. Oh wait, Vicky Creeps. That's what it is. Vicky Creeps. That's Alma. And she kind of becomes his muse and lover. But again, it's a psychological thing. It's not. That's the whole point. It's because if I describe this movie, it's not the plot is not particularly exciting. It's a character study. It's a psychological study. And Daniel Day Lewis is so good in this movie, as he's in everything. I mean, he's good in pretty much everything. Not everything because I watched In the Name of the Father. He was kind of bad in some of those movies, in some of those scenes, but he's really good in this movie. I don't know if it's his career best, but it's up there. It's arguable. All right, Pineapple Express. This might go soon. I don't like Seth Rogen. I almost own this movie purely because of James Franco and the other characters. I don't like Seth Rogen. I've never have. I never thought he was that funny. I have. I don't like weed humor. I don't think it's that funny, even when I was in high school. We'll say connect A to B there. Um, I just don't. I'm sorry. But having said that, this movie is pretty funny. I think this is, if anything, is an exception. I think Superbad is probably an exception as well. Even though that's not really his movie. But yeah, it's one of those. Who directed this? Yeah, it's one of those. I don't want to say Judd Apatow, but Judd Apatow kind of films, and it's funny and it's exciting. I like James Franco in a lot, and Craig Robinson's funny in this. It's okay. It's okay. Now this next one. This one is a film that I grew up on. I watched this a ton, both on DVR and I had the DVD of this, and I only had like 5 DVDs for like the first 18 years, or maybe 16, 17 years of my life. I think for what this film is, I think it's almost perfect. It may be perfect for what it is. And that is Pirates of the Caribbean. I actually prefer it to Indiana Jones, but like I said, I have that bias of growing up on it. This movie is actually incredible. Like it's perfect for what it is. For an adventure film, it is everything you would want. Amazing, iconic character, an iconic performance by Jack Sparrow, great supporting cast and great villain. We got Jeffrey Rush Barbosa and great supporting cast. Great action, great pacing, great dialogue and iconic one-liners, great iconic imagery in the hat and the sword. It's just everything you want is here. It's everything. It's exciting, it's fun, it's serious at times. Um, it's cool. It's shot on location. It's got that pirate coolness factor to it. All the costumes are really cool, and it's just I love it. I love this movie. The next two and three are pretty good. They're not like amazing. They're definitely flawed. But as far as like sequels to big blockbusters go, they're not that bad. Maybe I should get those because I'm not a completionist. You'll never see me get four or if there even is a fifth one. But and that's why I didn't get the other two because remember I'm not a completionist. I spend my money on this. I'm not going to piss away my money on movies I don't want. But they're actually not that bad. But this movie's just amazing. It's so good. I love this movie. It really is perfect for everything you would want in this kind of film. It's just so good. It's just so good. Place Beyond the Pines. This is a good movie. It's a good movie. I hate to say it, but the first story, it's kind of three different stories in one. The first story with Ryan Gosling's character, let's say, is infinitely, I would say infinitely, but I preferred it to the other ones. It's a story about, I guess, kind of these two families and how their lives sort of interact in this kind of chronological way. It's weird, you know, the sins of the father, and then the son meets up with the son of another, and all that kind of stuff. But Ryan Gosling's character, I am a straight guy, okay? I like women as much as the next guy. Ryan Gosling's character is beauty personified. He is sexy, and I'm a straight dude, okay? He's in great shape. He looks like Ryan Gosling. Look, he's got the tear tattoos and the sword thing under thing. He plays the Moto Bandit, so he's like smoking cigarettes with his sleeveless wife beater, if he even has that on. And he's got sleeves and tattoos that are super cool. And he's like, I want to be that guy. And he robs banks. So good. Um, it does. It doesn't. It's not quite as good from there after the first act, we'll say, but it is very good. And I think it's a very poignant film, a beautiful film, and a very emotional film. And even just looking at the back of this, like with the baby and Ryan and Eva Mendes, who's also very good in this. Eva Mendes is very, very good. This is probably where they met, I bet, because of course they're married in real life. Bradley Cooper's really good in this. Ray Liotta is really good in this. This is a good movie. You should watch this movie. It's a well written. It's not amazing. Dane DeHaan. I think the third story and act is kind of the worst, and it's not perfect, but definitely a good movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Gotta have it, baby. Thanksgiving classic, John Hughes, John Candy, Steve Martin. I actually didn't watch this until about 2 or 3 years ago. For the first time, I was with my mom on Thanksgiving, and we're like, yeah, let's watch it. I got to watch it sometime. Sometimes my mom did kind of convince me, like sometimes you have to watch films that you might not watch, but if you want to call yourself a movie guy, you have to understand these references. And that's what I did, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be some kind of boring, stupid 80s movies, but it's not. It's very fun. It's nice, and um, heartwarming. It's a heartwarming film, and you should watch this every Thanksgiving. Platoon. Okay, this is a movie, in my opinion, of two halves. The first half of this movie, I could not believe that this movie got the praise that it did. It looked good. It was directed well. The acting was fine enough. But it was kind of a hangout movie, and that can be good. Like with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's probably my favorite hangout movie. A hangout movie is just a movie where characters hang out and there's not really a plot going on. Now that can be bad, obviously, because you have no plot or story, and that's not going to be exciting. But if you have cool characters that are funny, like in Dazed and Confused or something, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's more than compensates for that. You almost don't want to have a story because it's like, let's just hang out with these guys. I didn't care about any of these characters in the hangout, unfortunately. So we had no story and no characters that I cared about at all for the first half of this film. And I mean the first half, because there's something that happens directly halfway through this film. And everything after that point, the stakes are raised. It involves Willem Dafoe's character, kind of. Everything after that was awesome. And I remember that's why I bought this. So the first half was like a 5 or a 6. I could not believe that everyone was talking about how amazing this movie was. The second half was like an 8 or a 9. That was great. But unfortunately, a film of two halves for me. And but yeah, it's iconic. I mean, it's a Vietnam War. Of course, it's Oliver Stone, so it's kind of subtle compared to his other films. Like it's way more subtle than what was that one movie about the wheelchair? Tom Cruise. Born on the 4th of July. That movie was just like, I get it, dude. You don't like Vietnam. I got it. I'm not Forrest Gump. I can come to these conclusions by myself. Okay. Predator. You gotta have this movie. As much as I don't love this kind of movie, like the 80s, 90s baby oil action, it's not that they're bad by any means. It's just if all you offer me is action, generally that's not going to be enough to hold me unless you're like a Mad Max Fury Road or a Predator or something. But this is, I mean, what's there to say about Predator? I mean, the action's great, Arnold's great. It's pretty tense. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I don't watch it too much because that's not my kind of movie, but for what it is, it's pretty good. All right, last one in this video. Let's see what it is. The Prestige. Good movie, Christopher Nolan movie. Wish we could see more of this sort of mid-budget character versus character. We're not necessarily firing a ton of guns. We're not saving the multiverse or anything like that, but and it's about magicians too, and that's a fun thing for cinema, I think. And the way, of course, there's sort of a reveal or a twist at the end, and the way the film is structured or the script is structured also mirrors the pattern of a magic trick, and they kind of explain it. Now, if you're a seasoned movie watcher and you've heard Michael Caine kind of explain that, you go, "Oh, okay, that's the meta thing about this film." Okay, I always kept that in mind. Um, it was kind of like Mulholland Drive, where you're like, "Oh, okay, I figured it out. Like it's a dream," and I know that because you essentially told me. But yeah, I mean, Hugh Jackman. I like Hugh Jackman as an actor, at least. He seems like an alright guy, but there's always rumors about these guys being involved in like these weird cults and stuff. But Christian Bale's good. David Bowie's good too. I think he plays Tesla. And Scarlett Johansson, it's good to see her too. It's good to see like these big stars earlier in their career because they're playing like supporting roles and they don't have the ego. Even though I love Scarlett Johansson, I think she's awesome in everything. But yeah, this is magician versus magician, power versus power. And it's just well directed. It's well paced. It's well shot. I like the magic elements to it. It's just exciting, and it's witty. It's clever. It's a clever script. It's not just this boring. It's not like Now You See Me where it's just absurd and it's not. It's like the opposite of clever. It's like you're not really magicians. You're like gods. I don't know how you have this power. But thank you guys so much. That'll conclude this video, and then yeah, we'll just keep on going, and then after that, we'll do my music vinyl collection. I'm excited about that one too because I love music as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know which ones you thought were the best and which opinions that I gave that you agree and disagree with. I love you guys, and I will see you guys soon. You're the best.